Hey guys, thanks for tapping in on this video. I want to remind you that we are crowdfunded and dream-driven around here. If you would like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/pigeons420. With your support, we can interview some of the biggest minds in our space right here. Thank you so much to our members. Thank you so much to our patrons for supporting the show. And thank you for watching today's conversation.
Okay, Matt, my man. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. Welcome.
Here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure, dude. I wanted to have this conversation for a multitude of reasons. First of all, I just wanted to sit and chill and chat and call it work. And second of all, the last conversation we had together, Mrs. P wasn't feeling very well, and I had to run the show all by myself. And I put you on the TV to make it easier for myself, and I ended up messing up the picture quality. And dude, it was just one of those episodes where it's like, oh my god, what have I done?
But I don't think the picture quality was of really anyone's concern, because I couldn't make my microphone work for like a whole entire solid hour of your live stream. So I apologize for that. Thanks for giving me a do-over.
Dude, that was hilarious, brother. That was hilarious because, yeah, I was nervous because I was like, we literally worked on this before the show. Like, didn't we? We had set audio. Yeah, I swear we had done that. And then whatever, life happens, and it is what it is, brother.
Yes,
and
it does.
You are here now. And man, you've been doing some crazy things since the last time I seen you, brother. You traveled Europe. You've moved. You got a new crib. MJ Berlin, brother. You've been a busy man between yourself and Nick. And man, I can't wait to dive into it, brother. So thank you for being here. Absolute pleasure. And kind of real quick, brother, just if anyone didn't catch the first episode, I don't think everyone caught it. What have you been up to lately, man?
Oh man, like you said, we just got back from Mary Jane Berlin. It's been a couple of weeks now. I feel like I've just got back because I've been doing so much stuff since I've got back. You mentioned that I just moved into a new crib, so we're still setting up the new streaming studio that I'm sitting in right now. I am editing huge videos right now. That's what I've been doing most of my time since I've been back from Berlin, because when we were in Berlin, not only was I attending Mary Jane, I was also filming a documentary, like a full-length, real-deal, sit-down interviews, multi-camera documentary, not a vlog, this is what my trip to Mary Jane was like. Like, I started filming in Boston with Don from Can. We filmed there for like 3 days. I was really telling the story of Don and like his journey and his life, and you know, it really had nothing to do with me. I was pretty much just the facilitator of the story. So this is something really new for me. So that's exciting, but it's also a little scary. And since I didn't really know what I was doing, I filmed everything all day for like 11 or 12 days. So pretty much like 20 hours of footage a day on multiple cameras. And now that I'm home, I'm looking at folders and folders and folders of footage like, oh my God, where do I fucking begin? So editing is my life now for a little while.
Well, good for you. As you said that, my own anxiety increased because I could only imagine the gigabytes amongst gigabytes of footage that you have. Because I know that you take this very seriously. You're great at what you do, and you want to do it well, man. And so I know that, yeah, you would have definitely gone over the top, and I mean that in the best way possible. So good for you. And I can't imagine how daunting that is to stare at all that footage, and then have to. So kind of walk me through. How did you organize it? Like, when you get it on a card, are you doing it via like country? Are you doing it via like story, kind of chronological?
I would break it down. So every day after we would film, you're already thinking the way I'm thinking though. I would dump the footage every night before I went to sleep, and before I even went on the trip, while I'm still at home, I made a bunch of folders. So I made a folder for Boston, and then inside the folder for Boston, I made a folder for drone footage, a folder for beach shots, a folder for interviews, a folder for B-roll, And then I did the same thing. And since we were only in Boston for like 2 days, that was just one folder. And then I did the same thing for Berlin, but I did that by day. So I would have like Thursday, Berlin. And then I would have that folder broke down by the camera it was shot on and like what type of thing it was doing. And now that I'm back, the way I'm starting the edit is I'm taking all of the interviews, because I'm not really going to be on camera in this video. Think about when you watch like a documentary on Netflix. Usually the people who are actually involved in the story tell the story through interview questions without the help of a voiceover or a host per se. So now I need to take all of these questions that I ask on the interviews and I'm transcribing them down, just text. So it'll be like 15 pages of a text document, and that'll be one interview. Because I interviewed people sometimes for multiple hours. And so now, like, out of all of those thousands and thousands of words they said, I got to go find the 7 sentences I need to tell this part of the story. And so I'm first now doing a paper edit, is what they call it. So now I'm transcribing all of the footage that are interviews to text documents and starting from there. And like you said, you do want to do it right, because it's, you know, it's my baby. I love this. This is the first, I love making videos. I love my YouTube channel. I love my community. But also this is a project that I've been wanting to do forever and ever. Not necessarily this particular story, but just like make a documentary like this, make a movie. Both of those things are things I've always wanted to do. And this isn't just a movie on my channel. This isn't just a story I decided to tell. This is someone bringing me into their home and bringing me into their life and allowing me to sit down with their children and tell their life story, you know? So you also feel like this weight to make sure you get it right, because it's a lot to be trusted with that. And I feel a big responsibility to tell this story in the right way, you know?
Good for you, dude. I'm so proud of you, man. That's
buddy.
an incredible undertaking, and you're right, personal, intimate. I think that's, you know, it's more than that. It's having somebody let you into their home with their family and to tell their story. I feel like that is as personal as when you hire like a photographer or a videographer for like your wedding, dude. It
would be like hiring a videographer for your wedding night sex tape.
Yeah, dude. It's gotta be perfect.
You're in the most personal moments of someone's life. Like, I'm bringing up, I know the question that I'm about to ask you is a really hard thing for you to talk about. It might bring you to tears. It's a terrible memory, but it's part of the story. And the whole story doesn't make sense without all of the little parts, and even the parts that suck and they bring up bad feelings and they make you cry. And so I got to ask those hard questions. And it was really awkward for these people, I'm sure. I mean, it was awkward for me to have someone sit down in a chair. I put these lights all around them, a big microphone, 2 cameras, and then I looked him in the eyes and said, hey, it's no big deal. We're just going to have a conversation. It's real chill. Just relax.
Right.
And I know it's not real chill. I know that I'm lying. This doesn't feel chill to even me, and I'm behind the camera, and I feel nervous. So to have all these people that allowed me to, like, put all these lights and cameras in their face and tell, you know, ask them these really intimate, personal questions. First off, it was really, really rewarding. The shots I got, I really am proud of them. I cannot wait for you to see this fucking documentary.
Stoked.
But also, it was just rewarding in the way that, like, I can't believe people are trusting me with this. Like, how have I gained these people's trust that, like, because I know Don, but I met Don at the same time I met you for the first time in Vegas. So I don't really know his family. And they just had me in their home like, yeah, come on, set up your cameras, move our furniture, whatever you need to do, buddy.
I think a lot of that has to do with your character and persona. You're a very gentle, very welcoming person. And I know that's personally why I'm attracted to you, because in terms of friendship and relationship, is because you make me feel comfortable. You invited me into your home in the same way, dude. And I only met you the day that you met me in the same way you met Don. and you let me into your home, and I got to sit, and we had a great conversation. It's such a great conversation. In fact, we never even got a photo of
Not
that
even one
moment,
picture.
dude. Not even one photo, because we were just
That's
in
crazy,
it,
dude.
dude.
You drove from Canada to Denver. We hung out for multiple hours
A long
in
time.
my house, right in front. We were sitting right in front of like we were on the set for the live stream with the cameras off. We smoked and had a great conversation for multiple hours and didn't take one photo. And that is more special to me than recording every moment that we had together, because it's like, that, that was a good time, because we never thought about, hey, let's stop and capture this for social media. We were just
It just
enjoying each other's
happened.
company.
That's just it. That's just it. So it's like I am not surprised that other people feel that way about your persona, because if anybody ever wondered, does Matt from StrainShow, or is Matt from StrainShow the same guy off camera that he is on camera? And the answer is yes, dude. We have spent hours and hours at this point with each other. It's like we've only seen each other 3-4 times, but those times have been for a very long amount of hours. We sat and hung out, and we've toked and joked and ate potato chips out of pots off the floor. And dude, it was wonderful times. So it's like, we've gotten to know each other, man. And so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, because you are the same guy off camera that you are on camera. If anything, even more welcoming and warm. So, dude, not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. And let me tell you, following you on social media through your journey across Europe, through Boston and across Europe, was amazing, dude. I really felt like I was there, man. Like you were telling a story the whole time. And I'm so thankful you were live too, because that's huge. To be able to take on that experience with you in the moment from the airport or from Austria.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Dude,
We
epic.
did a stream from Austria on the lakeside.
Beauty.
Because it was Monday, and I figured, what am I just gonna miss my regular Monday stream with my homies just because I'm in Austria? And then I also thought, plus I'll be in a different time zone. I'll be in the homies who live in Germany and Austria. I'll be in their time zone, so I'll get to stream for like the homies that I just met this week in Berlin. And then we saw we were gonna have a 6-hour layover in the airport. I was like, Nick, we have all of the camera gear with us. We have all of the streaming stuff. Let's do a stream in the airport. It'll kill the time. And he's like, Matt, yeah, that would be funny. That would be cool. And he thought I was absolutely joking. And I was like, no, I'm like dead ass serious. I pulled out a 25-foot extension cord and ran it over to this little alley, this little nook in the hallway right by TSA. And I just set up all my streaming gear right there on the ground.
Good. Yeah, you have to make the most of it, brother. You have to make the most of it, because like I have also, it seems like it happens every time I travel. I'm stuck in an airport for hours on end. And yes, it certainly kills the time when you can sit and chat, just talk with your friends in a circle. It's
Absolutely.
like, it's a no-brainer to me, really.
The live streaming on YouTube for me has grown into something that I really, really love and appreciate. When I first started streaming weekly, it was like sometimes you get off work on Monday and you're like almost resentful towards yourself that you've set up this extra schedule for yourself that you have to rush home for and get a shower real fast and make sure all the cameras are good. And now I really, really value this so much, because it's something that people who watch my channel enjoy, but it's also something that I really, really enjoy. And it is like a moment for me to unwind, relax, reconnect, like reground myself, see all the homies. And these are the homies that keep me going through the hard times when I'm up at 5 a.m. and doing an edit. These are the homies that keep me up till 7 a.m. in the best way, because I want to make that new video for these people who I know are waiting to watch it, And so every time I come and do a live stream with the community, I feel like reinvigorated almost on a weekly basis.
Good. And it's that energy that people build off of and feed off of, dude, because it's like your energy is contagious, and it's like people need a dose of it, man. And one thing I can totally relate to, man, is the idea of going live, like just that schedule. we don't have real jobs, or we're very blessed to be in this position where we can have this opportunity. And that's one thing to fully understand, is that
Absolutely.
we have like, there's almost zero to complain about, right? And so, but the reality is too, is like, it is so rewarding. It's like often, it's like there's a lot of work that goes into, and I use the word work loosely because it's not, but it's like there's a lot of effort that can go into bringing a good quality show or appearance to the internet. And
Absolutely.
it can take a level of awareness, a level of stress, and so on and so forth. But the moment you hit that on live and you see that chat filling up and you see the same people there every single night cheering you on, and they've seen you at your best, they've seen you at your worst, and yet here they are, dude. It's like I get chills just thinking about it, dude. These are the people that love you, and it's like this is the epitome of your community. And man, once I see just the love and the emotes and everything, it's just like, oh my god, it's just, I feel like I'm on top of the world, dude. Like I'm on a pedestal. I don't deserve to be here, but this is how I feel, man. So I totally relate, dude. I totally relate. And in fact, I've seen you on Twitch, dude. Are you kind of going live on Twitch now a little bit here and there?
I've been dual streaming to Twitch, yes, sir, and I'm about to start going live on Twitch every week. Because I like the streams so much, like I was saying, and Twitch, like you were saying a minute ago before we went live, very friendly on the 420 content, which is fun. But also, it's a fun place to hang out and game specifically, because I know I used to do live stream gaming on my YouTube channel, and a lot of people just aren't on YouTube for that. People who want to watch gaming streams are typically on Twitch. And there's a lot of crossover, but there was a lot of people on my YouTube channel that didn't really like the gaming. There's a lot of people that ask me to do the gaming on Twitch. So if you want to team up for some co-op gaming, I'm thinking of doing, what days do you game on Twitch? You have a regular day?
Every day of the week, brother. I'm live tonight on Thursday.
Okay.
And like on Twitch or on YouTube. But aside from that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I do Sunday morning wake and bakes. But then I'm gaming, dude, every other night, dude. It's like, for like, as you mentioned, I've been on Twitch since 2017, 2018. Twitch is 420 friendly, man. As long as you don't violate the rules of your local laws, and
We're golden, because I live in Colorado and you're in Canada.
Legal, baby. And then you're not
All
violating their terms of service, which are very explicit, easy to look up. Say nothing about cannabis. The reality is that you're not in violation of the rules. And it's like, people kind of forget that sometimes, that Twitch is like okay to be here, man. And so I would be gaming every night, whether I was live or not, because the reason I started on Twitch is because, like, I'm a gamer, dude. I love gaming, hardcore gamer. And so every night at 9 p.m. I know. Oh God, I'm like in it, dude. I love it.
See, I'm gaming. I started gaming just because people in my live chat and in my community were like, "You have to play Weed Chop 3. You have to play that." I was like, "Okay, that sounds fun as fuck. Let's play some Weed Chop." And now that I'm like looking at other games to play, they're all community recommended. Everybody saw you playing Schedule 1 and they're like, "Matt, you got to play Schedule 1. Pigeons is playing it all the time. You have to finish Weed Chop, and you have to play Schedule 1." And so now I'm trying to get into gaming just to have another excuse to hang out and do live streams. But also the reason that this really came to fruition is because of YouTube. You said we don't really have much to complain about, and you're absolutely right. As a YouTuber, as like with a successful channel, I feel the most lucky I could ever be. And to have the opportunity to pour my heart and soul into something that I really love creatively and share that with the world is something that I, never could have expected. I'm very lucky. But if there was one tiny, tiny little beef, It would just be that these rules with YouTube are quite inconsistent. So you never know what's going to get age restricted, what's going to get removed, what's going to get a strike on your channel. And my live streams, since I stream every week for 3.5 hours roughly, that's like 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 hours a month of content on YouTube where I might violate terms of service accidentally, just a little bit for 1 or 2 seconds. And anytime in those streams that happens, that's a potential strike on your channel. And I have recently got a strike for a live stream. I got a community guidelines warning for a live stream, which has been freaking me out. And the thing is that doesn't usually happen until the stream has been up for like 2 or 3 days. So if I dual stream to Twitch, I can stream on YouTube still, like I always do. It will go to Twitch at the same time. And then right after I go live, I can remove this live stream from the YouTube channel and just let it live on the Twitch, because now I'm scared to let them live on YouTube.
Yeah. The reality is that I know for a fact that some channels can scoot past the guidelines a little bit better than others, but at the end of the day, it is an AI, my personal opinion, it is an AI generated system that will find your channel. You will get like a lot of great channels have had this happen. And it's wonderful to be able to get by until the hammer crashes. And when the hammer crashes, it's like, okay, there's a real threat here of extinction from YouTube.
Yeah.
And so it sucks to hear that you went through that, and I'm sorry to hear that you went through a warning, because it is the most worst feeling in the world. As somebody who's gotten through 3 strikes, I've been deleted, and I've gone through strikes, and it is the worst feeling. And I don't know about you, but these strikes and things, they don't happen until 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. and all of a sudden you see that Google notification from YouTube, it's like, it's like, what
daunting.
now? What?
It feels
now?
like somebody is gonna like your whole life's work could just vanish overnight because of nothing. Like you didn't even change anything. There's nothing you can think of that you did wrong. Sometimes it'll be like right now I have 1 strike on my channel currently, and it's for a video that was up for years. It was on a video that was up for years, and it was fine. I had a video recently that was sitting with like 2.3 million views, and they removed that video and all of the watch time and all of the views that went with it. And that was massive. If you look at the analytics for my channel, there is a huge drop, like a huge negative spike. Like it doesn't even make sense. And it's because they just took that down and gave me a strike. You, since you've got on, let me reword this. What am I trying to say? Since you've been approved for the partner program again,
yes,
has YouTube seemed to been like, fuck, I can't speak?
It has not
Since
gotten
you've been
easier.
approved for the partner program, has YouTube been easier on you? Like, have they been giving you less strikes, less age restrictions?
No, this show is what got me my last warning, because I showed bud shots of my harvest that I had, and I was hit with a regulated goods thing.
Wow.
But I want to be very clear, though. Now that I'm back in the program, I am 100%, well, 95% following their guidelines, because like I still consume on the channel. I do like when you take a rip, I try to like change the camera angle to make it less obvious kind of thing. If I'm having rip, I try not to have it as the main shot kind of thing, just to kind of, because as someone who is back in the like, I don't want to fuck this up, dude. Like YouTube has made it very clear that I am just a small fish in this pond. And if I mess this up, they have no problem flicking me off the board. And so I'm treading lightly, dude. I try very hard to make sure that I abide by all the guidelines. I try to make sure it's ad friendly. And when I hear about you guys struggling, I don't bring up my struggle. Like right now, my battle is between the yellow and the green dollar sign. So that's
Wow.
and it's not a battle, dude. Like I'm not like I don't even want to make it. It is for me personally trying to get it to dance between yellow and green, but I
That's
know.
awesome though, man.
Thank you. I'm very fortunate, dude. But I know what it's like to battle the age restriction. Forget about the money. The age restriction, dude. It is horrifying what age restrictions will do to your content. It can literally go from being a #1 performing video to 10 in less than 12 hours based on an age restriction. So
I've had one of one videos performing the best. It's performing better than any of the last 10 I've done. You can see the analytics, the views and the watch time is skyrocketing. It's like the craziest thing you've ever seen. You're the most excited you've ever been. You get hit with an age restriction, it flatlines. And you can leave that video up for another year and it might not get another 1,000 views in a year. It was getting 10,000 views per hour. And then after you get the age restriction, it might not get 1,000 views in the next calendar year.
You're
It
100%.
completely kills the reach of a video, and it has really nothing to do with protecting children.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because as you know, we can search on this platform how to cook up methamphetamine, how to distill alcohol. You can look up videos of children with wet firearms. Like it's not about that. But anyways, I want to move on from this only because I know that this particular topic is not a friendly topic to the algorithm.
We're pissing off the algorithm right now.
That's
is what
it.
You're saying.
That's
we're
it,
triggering the AI bot.
And that's it. And honestly,
we love you, YouTube.
we
Thanks
love
for allowing us
you.
on your beautiful platform.
Thank you. No, not yeah. It's just it's weird how it works, dude. And I'm 11 years on this, or I'm 10 years on this platform. So it's like I've
congratulations,
started,
buddy.
Thank you very much. I've started to learn, the ups and downs. 11 years on the internet posting about weed. So it's like, you start to figure out the ups, the downs, the how to do it kind of thing. But anyways, coming to Twitch though, like I do want to focus on this because I'm a gamer, and that's kind of what segued us from this. I think most men should play video games. I think it's a great way to release that pent up energy. We don't share our emotions very much, but unless we're gaming, we're very quick to share our emotions. As I think it's great for our mental health.
So crying about your horse in Red Dead Redemption 2, like, homie, he was my best friend, and I don't know what to do now. I've never felt this way. It's like, I've never heard my husband cry like that.
Yeah, that's it. And little does she know, he's crying about a year's worth of pent up energy. It's okay, but it's good for your health. Dude, I'm totally down to do some gaming. I'm totally down to do any kind of gaming. Because I think communities will love it. Twitch is for so much more than gaming though. Believe it or not, someone made the comment. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tim the Tap Man.
I've heard of Tim the Tap Man. I used to watch his videos.
Yeah. He's been quoted saying that Twitch streamers are cooked, and that game streams are dying. And in a way, he's actually right. If you look at my most anecdotal evidence is that I always do a wake and bake video on Sundays. My wake and bake videos, which involve zero gaming, always get the most audience retention. Like I have the most people show up. As soon as I throw a game on, I'm a third of that. Anytime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
okay, so now that makes me realize that just like for me, I think me personally, if I was watching your stream, I think I would be more engaged if you were looking right into the camera talking.
Correct.
Than if you were looking off screen saying, all right, I got to get this new upgrade. This guy's behind the corner. But what if we can combine these? What if we had a dual stream where we take turns? There's one person on camera while the other person is gaming. Everything is on screen at the same time.
Genius, dude. Genius. We're on to something here.
Like the thing is though, that's fun though. That's fun to see that streaming is sort of shifting, because although maybe gaming viewership is down specifically, I bet if we looked at live stream viewership overall, it's at an all-time high.
You're
Like
100%. I would
like
100%
world
agree.
record high.
I agree, dude.
And
When you watch iShow Speed or whatever, he's got like 100,000 people watching him at any given time.
yeah, man, Kai Cenat.
Kai
There's a
Cenat.
bunch of really, really big streamers.
Yeah.
And like on Kai's streams now on Twitch, you see the most successful, like the artists who are on top in music in the top 10, their record label wants to pay Kai to have their artist on his stream. The way people consume media is changing, and it's changing in a really fun way. That'll be fun for us too, because people are watching YouTube more on their TV. I think YouTube is watched more on connected TVs than Netflix now.
Oh, really?
People are watching live streams, like the exact things we love to do. So as soon as we can figure out this AI algorithm and navigate that, I don't know. I feel like the potential in the future is very good. Like, people watch more and more YouTube every year. People watch more and more streamers every year. And that's what I love to do. That's what I love to spend my time doing. So I'm really hopeful for that. And I'm really excited to get back into Twitch, dude. I think we could do some fun stuff together.
I'm stoked on it, dude. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm always open. Like, one of the biggest things I'm waiting for is like that. Someone to collaborate with that is excited to game, excited to just, to build a community. That's what it's all about, man. So, yeah.
You got the Quest 2, right? You got a Quest headset?
Yep.
Dude, we definitely need to
100%.
co-op some
Dude,
VR games.
I
Dude, we'll stand
literally-
in front of the green screen and put our whole body in the
I
corner.
created the green room specifically for VR headsets. I never admit that,
Okay,
but that's
perfect.
specifically why I did it. So I could like
Perfect. And I bet you don't utilize it as much as you would like to,
never
right?
enough. Yeah, never enough.
Okay, so
dude.
I'm going to hang the big green screen behind me in this studio. We're about to
Yes.
pop the fuck off on Twitch.
Okay, tune in. What's your StrainShow? StrainShow on Twitch?
Yep. Twitch.tv/StrainShow.
Boom, dude. Speaking of the new studio, man, how does it feel to be in a new crib, man?
It feels amazing, brother. Thank you for asking. I have more room for my cat to move around. I have more room for activities. I actually have a room that I can designate as like, okay, I'm going to do StrainShow stuff in here. Before, like, the last 2 years of the stream has been in my bedroom. So it's nice to have that space separate. You can sort of go to bed and not have to look and make sure you're not still streaming yourself on a live camera. But also the neighborhood is much more chill. People who are regulars on my stream know how much I went through with my old neighbor. He was sort of like, how do I put this kindly? A conspiracy freak, gun nut, drug tweaker.
Oh yeah, that's the
And that's
nicest way.
putting
I
it
like
a
that.
really nice way.
Nice.
So he was, and I shared a duplex with him. So we technically lived in the same home. And he was wild. So just to be away from that guy feels amazing. I have very strict rules here about smoking and growing. So it's been a little nerve-wracking at first. I'm not going to lie. Like, we've been blowing all of our smoke out of the windows, almost not smoking inside at all. Still haven't set up a grow tent, although I don't think I can resist anymore. I think it's about to fucking go up.
Smart, dude. I didn't know
I'm
you.
getting,
I didn't know you weren't growing, man. I didn't know you weren't growing yet.
Well, right when I moved, we had just harvested. It was like perfect for the trip. We did a harvest. We moved out. As soon as I put my boxes in this house, we went to DGC, where me and you hung out for a couple of days. That was dope, by the way.
Epic.
As soon as I got back from DGC, well, I came back every day. But as soon as DGC was over, we went to Berlin. And then since I've been back from there, I've been doing all kinds of other stuff. So I really haven't even had time.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Because growing and traveling do not go hand in hand. I don't care how automated
Especially
your
not with
system is.
really, really young plants. Like, if I had something that was just like going along on an automated system, and maybe I could have a homie come by the house 1 or 2 times while I'm gone, check on it. I can look at my camera. I got the Grow Cam. The whole Vivasun thing is automated from your phone. So you can just check that out wherever you are. if something is wrong on my phone, if I need someone. But like to set it up and have seedlings. Hey man, can you go to my house and look at my can every 6 hours until you see tap roots? And I'm gonna need you to transfer those into these little cubes, and then I'm gonna need you to set up my flood and drain table. It's no big deal. It'll only take you like 12 or 13 hours.
You'll be fine. I'll walk you through the whole thing. Yeah, actually, I have a video on this. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just watch these
Yeah, just
7
watch my
videos.
video on YouTube, bro. It'll be really easy. Thanks.
Yeah, don't forget the like button. Dude, I get it, man. And that's my father-in-law, man. I literally do that to my father-in-law. And he'll be like, so, and I mention it the very last minute too, because I tend to forget that I have to get, and then so he'll be like, it'll be like the day before I leave, and I'll be at his house. And I'll be like, yeah, oh, right, dude. Oh, okay, yeah. Can you check on my plants too? He's like, okay, yeah, you just got, how many you got? 28, I think. Give or take,
Yeah.
I got, and he's like, yeah.
I know for a long time though, you weren't really into automation. It was hand water or let the plants die. If I can't hand water every one of them myself, then they will just die. You've been leaning more into automation, right?
Yeah, actually, I still don't trust a man who doesn't hand water his plants. However, I am I am slightly getting more into automation, man. You know what? The reality is like I'm full of taglines, but I eventually cave, brother, because I'm about ease. I'm about like not ruining your life while you try to grow good plants. And the reality is that you can't do that if you're relying on yourself to be the vigilance all the time, 100%. And so it's like, yeah, you know what? I need to give in a little bit to the automation. I need to give in a little bit to the technology, brother, because I want to live, man. And you can grow good weed and let a little bit of the control go. That's so.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been getting a little more into automation.
I also love like the consistency of an automated, like especially like an automated watering system. I was most recently running the flood and drain table, and that thing is like, it's on a digital timer. It's very good.
Which one are you using?
Right on time.
Which one?
And if I tell myself I'm going to do this for exactly 15 minutes, exactly every 2 hours, first off, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to forget a couple of times. And also, the more times I go into that tent, the more times I have the tendency to just sort of stare for about an hour. I'll go into that grow tent to do a 5-minute job, and I'll stay in the grow tent for a whole hour, just sort of hanging out. And I have the confidence at this point, so I don't feel like I need to hover over the tent and check. I have all of the stats on my phone. I sort of know what to look for. I sort of know where my weak points in my specific system are. But if I have an excuse to go in that garden every 2 hours or 3 or 4 times a day, that has the tendency to easily eat up my entire day.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Which system are you using? Which table are you using?
I was doing a completely built from scratch flood and drain table that was in a 2x4 tent. The only thing that was like pre-made was the little table, and it was really a table made for clones, so it wasn't very deep. So what I did is I was growing autos, so I oversized my pots, so they were in 5 gallons when I really could have probably got away with 1 gallon in a flood and drain. But since I wanted a large root mass, I put them in 5s, so they didn't have a very deep root structure, but the root structure went down and then went quite wide.
Nice.
So I crammed 4 of those in, and I just got like a little HDX tote from Home Depot as my reservoir, a couple of little Vivasun pumps, and some flood and drain. You know, they make the little connectors. You screw a hole and put that in your flood table. And then all of that was just sitting in my Vivasun tent. I had the Arrow Wing light and the little grow hub that comes with that. And that's all I had, and it was perfect.
Dude.
It was actually a lot of fun to run, and it was very easy. It just creates a shitload of humidity because you have a 4 foot wide by 2 foot wide tray
Yeah.
it fills up with water inside the sealed grow tent like multiple times a day.
How did you combat that?
A lot of fan work
Hmm.
with the automated Vivasun system and the Grow Hub controller, and then the air conditioner in the room. I had the standalone AC, and now the Vivasun has the new AC that I just got, so I can now run the AC in the room to help with that and have it all synced to the Grow Hub, so that's going to be real nice. But it wasn't that much of a problem that I couldn't combat it with just the exhaust fan until I got into flower. But then when I was getting into flower, although I wanted to make sure my lights were as bright as ever, I also wanted to make sure my temp was sort of dropping. So it's like you're asking for two things at the same time. Brighter light means more heat. So it was really beneficial for me anyways to be able to run an air conditioner in that lung room, but just the properties of the air conditioner itself dehumidify the room. So that being in there was a lifesaver.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably were emptying it quite a bit. How big is the reservoir?
The reservoir in the AC?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a 4 quart to like a 1 gallon. But
Okay.
yes, I was emptying it pretty frequently because also in flower, not only am I running the lights, at full strength now, I'm also watering the plants more than ever because now they're bigger than ever and they want to get, they need water more than ever or those roots are going to dry out because when they're not being watered, they were just in a fabric pot full of hydrogen pellets. So when they dry out, they dry all the way out. Like if I would have been gone from home overnight and my power would have went out for like maybe 6 or 8 hours, that could have been enough to kill the whole tent
Damn.
because they just can't go long. That hydrogen only holds a very small amount of residual
Right.
moisture.
Yeah. Now that makes sense. That makes sense. And honestly, we deal with power outages here, unfortunately, frequently. I guess not crazy frequently, but we do deal with them a fair amount. I just remembered as you were saying this, you actually did a video on all this, on your channel, if I'm not mistaken, on the flood and drain table, correct?
Yeah, I did a little build guide of the flood and drain, and then I've done a few in that series afterwards where like the examples of plants I'm talking about, although the video itself might not be specifically about the table, I'm using the plants in the flood and drain table as my like example plants.
Sweet, dude. Sweet. You know what? You've got me seriously interested in making it easier on myself. And, having the timers and VivoSun does make everything so easy in regards to the pump. They've got everything, damn near, with the pumps and the fans and the
Yeah,
humidifiers.
you can do it a couple of ways. You can do the drip feed, or you can even just do the little auto pot bases because they have even those now. There's just the self-wicking base,
Right,
the little
right.
slow butt chug.
Yep, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. Dude, one thing I wanted to talk about, and we kind of loosely discussed it, was your trip through Europe. You talked about the documentary. How was it, man? How was it to trek? I say Europe, which was amazing, and to be through Germany for what is Europe's biggest cannabis convention aside from Cannabis. How was that, dude?
It was absolutely amazing, dude. First off, this was my first time out of the US at all. I've never even been to Canada, never been to Mexico. I've never been across the closest borders to me. So to just going to get my passport, knowing that the intent with this thing is to go overseas, to go to this big cannabis event and meet all these people and go film this documentary, even that was mind-blowing. And actually touching down in Berlin, dude, I felt really lucky. It was really special. I was trying to, make the most of every moment. I was trying to slow down and take it all in, but also I'm trying to film every single thing. So it's sort of like you're working against yourself. But you know how even like an event that's only a few hours away from your house. I don't know how long it takes you to fly to Las Vegas, but even Las Vegas, when you go to that, it's 3 or 4 days and it goes by like this. And so I knew this trip was going to feel like that. So I was really trying to take it all in. The city was amazing. Berlin was amazing. It's very vibrant and alive. It's loud. It's full of people. Berlin is like one of the most, from what I was told, one of the like most open and welcoming cities in Germany, to like allow people to be themselves and express who they are openly and freely. So that was awesome. The event was amazing. I've heard numbers all the way up to like 75,000 people in attendance. And I think with Cannabis up in the air, like not knowing where it's going to be hosted, everyone was saying this is the biggest cannabis event in the world. And it really felt like it. The inside was humongous. The outside area was humongous. There was a fucking 50-foot Ferris wheel, probably a 100-foot Ferris wheel, a bunch of stages. DJs played all into the night till like 8 p.m. After the inside stuff was over. You just go outside and kick it in the grass. And the vibe of the people there, the pride of the people there was really amazing. I felt really lucky to be part of this because with these new laws, they're fairly new. In Germany and these big events coming to Germany and people finally being allowed to use this plant openly and freely on a federal level, it means a lot to these people. Of course it does. You can get jaded to it, I feel like, in the U.S., probably in Canada the same. We've had like some of these states in the U.S. have had these laws for 14 years now or some shit like that. And so you sort of take it for granted. Yeah, of course weed is legal in Colorado. But here it wasn't like that at all. People were very proud. I don't think I saw like maybe one example of cannabis that didn't come from a home grower that had a backstory that was very proud to not only have the legal right to grow this plant, but then to come together with everyone and celebrate it right there in their country, in their city, where they grew up, where they've seen people being persecuted by federal laws their whole life over a plant. And so there was a lot of pride and joy for everybody to come together because not only are they prideful and happy about these laws and these new regulations that allow all of this stuff, they're happy that like we're celebrating it there with them. Everyone is there. Like the whole community, it feels like, has come together. Everywhere you look, you see another legend in the cannabis industry. And it was really, really amazing. It was really amazing to be a part of. And then I saw people from all over the whole world, P. They were like, oh my God, Matt, I love this StrainShow. I watch your channel all the time, which was fucking mind-blowing. If I met you at Mary Jane, thank you so much for coming up to say hello. And thank you for watching the channel. Y'all made the trip really memorable. Meeting all of those people, those are the interactions and the moments I'll remember the most. Out of all of the crazy stuff that happened, that's absolutely what I'll remember the most.
Dude, to be overseas, brother, and have people, like, it's one thing to be in Colorado or in Vegas or in the United States, for crying out loud. But to be overseas and to have people reach out, and man, I don't know the feeling. I can't relate, but I think it's pretty amazing, brother. It's got to be amazing, man. How was the weed over there?
Oh man,
you obviously didn't bring any.
No, didn't bring anything at all. It was very particular. I didn't even bring anything with me to Boston because I knew that where I was going to in Boston, I was actually in a place called Westport. But in Westport, it's legal. They had dispensaries. So I wanted to try that out. You know, I wanted to see what that was like. So I didn't take any of that stuff with me from Westport. Of course, we weren't like out of the car for 15 minutes though. Just walking down the road, I ran into someone who didn't know me from the channel. They knew someone in my group, but never heard of me, never seen me or anything. We just started talking, and they were like, "This is your first time in Berlin?" And then their very second question was, "Have you found any good weed yet?" And before I could answer, they already had their arm all the way down to the bottom of his backpack. He's reaching for bud. And so he gives me a big old bag of flour. And I would say, like, if I had to average every piece of bud I saw there into one number, it was like 8 out of 10. And most of them were like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And there were just a couple that were a little lower that might bring the average down. But there was really good flour from all over the place. And like I was mentioning before, most of it was homegrown by people who were really proud of it. And they had a backstory to how they grew it. And they had a backstory to when they started growing. And that was so fun to see. It was much better. It's like when you know an artist's first 6 albums before they ever got popular. You've been following them the whole time. And then they make that one album that's a top 10 hit. And now everybody knows them. And you're like, man, y'all don't know the whole story. When you know the whole story, it makes it better. And so to see like the pride and the joy and to hear the stories that came along with these great examples made it way more fun.
That's epic, dude. Of course, man. And I'm so glad to hear that the weed is great, because like
It really was.
the common experience when I go to the States is unless somebody's providing it, it typically, like, from the dispensary is kind of what I'm referring. It's really hit or miss, really hit or miss. And I know obviously it's the process, it's how it's being transported and handled and so on and so forth. But to hear that, Germany's still so excited about it, it just makes me feel like they're still going to continue to take that passion and implement it into the laws so that that good product can get to the consumer. What was it like for like dispensaries and stuff? Were there dispensaries around?
There are not dispensaries. So the way it works now is you can possess, and I think I'm getting this right. I'm pretty sure I got this right. You can possess, you can grow. There's no dispensaries, but there are pharmacies. So if you're a medicinal patient, you can go to the pharmacy. If you're not a medicinal patient, you can have plants grown for you by a social club. And then you can buy the plants. It's sort of like, I think, how it works here in Colorado. So I have, when I have my medical exemption, I have an extended plant count that allows me to legally grow 24 plants at home. But if I sign that plant count over to a provider, like a dispensary, that means now they can take on my plant count because they buy a license from the state that allows them to legally grow X amount of plants. But then when they take me on as a patient, now they can grow 24 more plants. And now I can come to this place, I can buy my extended plant count amount, which is 8 ounces a day, from this place. And since I signed over to them, they'll give me like a better deal than anyone else would. And so I think it's similar to that. Since you can grow and it's legal for you to grow, but you can't go to the store, and everyone doesn't have the option, the knowledge, the know-how, the space, whatever it may be, to grow at home, they can just allow a social club to grow for them and then go buy from the social club. But even with the social clubs, like I mentioned before, the pride of the people is real, and the pride around the plant is real, and this is a big event, and everybody's trying to come, and I feel like everybody was saving that heat to bring to Mary Jane. They might have had flour that they saved specifically for this event because it was so good, or they had 6 or 7 ones to pick out, and they were like, I'm only taking the 2 absolute best ones to Mary Jane.
Dude. Okay. It's like listening to you and watching your story and like obviously hearing that there's good product out there. And I think it's fair to say I'm probably gonna. Are you gonna do it next year? Because I think I'm gonna.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So at least I know I got someone to stay with, or at least hang out with.
Yeah, for sure. Let's kick it. Let's stay together. Let's kick it.
Totally.
Lock
Like I
up.
feel like we should. I feel like it only makes sense, go in numbers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And not to mention it simply costs less when you can just throw down on a crib together and
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
That's the kind of the way we figured out. Are you going to MJ BizCon this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have anything that's going on between then? And like anything like event wise?
Event wise, not that I can think of right now. There was like some smaller things. There was one thing that was just in Washington that I just missed that was like a glass blowing event.
Hmm.
The name escapes me right now. And I'm trying to think, because like ever since I met you in Vegas last year for MJ BizCon, I was like, oh, this is the move. I should go to every little thing there is like this every time I get the chance. And so now I'm like trying to get things on my radar. I'm trying to put things on the calendar. So if anybody knows of good events that we should hit up, make sure you always reach out and let us know where we should be, what kind of things that are out there that we shouldn't miss. Because somebody asked me in Germany, is there anything like this? Is there anything comparable to this in the States? And I took like 1 second and I was like, no, not really. Not one big thing where everybody comes together. There's consumption on site. It really feels like it's for the community. I felt like the community was there. The homies were there. Of course, there's booths there. And there's owners who are tied to those booths, and there's businesses and corporations that fund this event and pay for these
Someone's got
booth
to pay.
spaces. But it wasn't like a business to business thing. I could come there just as a regular Joe Schmo and see all kinds of booths with things that I was glad to see. I didn't feel like they were pushing it on me or it didn't have no place there. And they really set it up for the community to have a good time. And the biggest thing we have is maybe Champs, Indo Expo, MJ, BizCon, but that's a business to business
It's 100%
thing. We have a lot of
a
little
business.
things,
Yeah.
like the thing I was talking about in Washington. And that's sort of how it is in the United States. I don't know about Canada, but here in the US, we'll have like a bunch of little events. Like Seattle will have their own thing. And then Chicago will have a cool event. And there'll be something dope in Michigan. And there'll be one little thing in Denver. But there's not one big thing where everyone comes together. So it's sort of hard to keep up with all these little things in all these little cities.
Yeah, it can be. It really can be. And if you're not careful, it can cost a fortune too by,
Absolutely.
trying to make it to all these things because it's not free. It's not free. And
No, not at all.
I immediately when you said, is there any, like as someone said, and you were trying to think if there's anything like that. No, of that size, because a lot of the events that are even proportional to that are business to business, strictly business to business. And so, and even Champs, I'll even say Champs is a business to business. It is it's, you can't even get in unless you have a business or not even a business, but like a booth at the business, or at the convention, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
great
the only
event,
way I've ever been able to get into Champs is like people, like someone will want to have me out at Champs and I'll go there and meet them and they'll give me like a lanyard that has their company's name on it. Like I work for Runts or something. That's how
Right.
it happened last time. I had on a Runts lanyard. I don't work for Runts.
Right. Yeah.
But and you see people there. Of course, you see people there from the community because a lot of people that own these businesses or work in these businesses are associated with these businesses are just homies from the community like me and you. But it also is sort of prohibitive because if someone wants to come kick it with me and you at MJ BizCon, well, now they have to spend $400 fucking dollars, travel to Las Vegas, all on the off chance that they hope they find something worth doing in 4 days because nothing in the convention is really set up for them. The convention is set up for companies to make business connections with other companies.
Yep. That's why I had so much fun at the DGC. Like if the DGC gets to the proportion of having 75,000 people,
Oh my
which I think, talking to the boys, that is not their intention, because I feel like
No.
they feel like then you lose the personal vibe that they have now that we speak so highly of. And
Think about how DGC Cup felt. It felt like a family group. It felt like a large birthday party or something.
I totally agree. Yeah, it did. It did. It was like it was just like a family barbecue. And it
Yeah,
was
and
like,
if that was 75,000 people, you would lose that. I don't know if this is true, but I heard someone say that they actually capped the ticket sales this year to like keep it that size. Like that was the max amount of tickets they allowed to be sold, I think.
yeah, I don't know if they capped it or it was the venue particularly that they
Oh,
had booked.
okay. But either
But
way, there was a cap.
but Brett was specifically saying he's they don't want to blow a good thing, and I get it, man. They don't want to blow a good
Yeah,
thing, so they're saying it's like they don't know what that line is, and are saying
yeah,
that they are willing to cap it to just keep
yeah,
that intimate vibe. And I respect that, dude. I do, because I think that's part of how you just keep something like this personal. Because, dude, it was for the community, by the community. There was so much free toke, dude. You could just consume. You could consume on site. There was
That was something
was
that was
everything.
cool. There was no like smoking area. DGC is the smoking area.
Yeah.
If you're there, you're in the smoking area. There was no place that you can't smoke. And it did have that really nice quality of like anywhere you were, you could have a conversation with someone. Anywhere you were, you could just sit down and spend some quality time with someone. There was never like too much hustle and bustle going on. There was never like too much foot traffic to where you got to like get out of everyone's way and you can't even stop and say hello to someone. And it felt like family vibes, you know? It felt like family, that like distant family. Because I was meeting people there too that are like, hey, I know you. This is my name on Discord. Nice to meet you in real life. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
I've known you for 7 years.
Yeah, I
And now
know.
we're hanging out in real life. And I'm really glad that it had that small vibe. Although the thing in Berlin, Mary Jane, that was unique and it was really special. And I'm glad that was the size it was, because I feel like that that needed to be that size to facilitate what it was. This is a celebration of an entire country coming together as one to celebrate progress and to celebrate this plant. DGC isn't that. DGC is the Dude Grows Cup. Like, DGC is for the Dude Grows fam, you know? And when you go there and you meet the people that have been there at every one, they're like, this is my 10th year, dude, and there's only been 10. You're like, whoa, that's so sick. So it's a completely different thing. And so these little micro events we have, they're great. I just can't keep up with, I have a hard time keeping up with all of them because a lot of them I've never even heard of yet. So it's not just about remembering them. It's I got to find them first.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. And because there's a lot, man. There's a lot. And there's a lot across the country, but like state to state to state to state is doing their own thing, particularly if they're legal right now. So yeah, you know what? I would love to hear from people, you know, which one is the best one, because I don't want to miss out. Because the DGC was amazing. It'll be a tough one to cap, but I'm totally open to doing something amazing. And dude, someday I think we'll host an incredible event, man. I see
think
that.
Be awesome, dude.
I see that happening, man. We did the Growers Gauntlet, the Growers Gauntlet, and that was amazing. It was a lot of work. Shout out to Rob for bearing the brunt of that one. But man, it was an epic result. Like, it was just so cool to have people coming from all over the country to come smoke. You know, it was free smoke.
Yeah.
You know, free drinks, free eat. Everything was on the house. It was just pretty much invite only. Was really the only thing. And so, yeah, I would like it to be open to everyone and kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Rob about that the other day because I have the like a vision of something very similar. Like, I was thinking, what if we all came together? That was an event just for the community and not for businesses at all. This isn't, maybe it's not a competition. Maybe it's not maybe it's not really in anything. Maybe it's just a weekend long smoke out. That's the premise. We just hang out. Of course, we could have musicians, we could have acts, maybe like some talks. Maybe we could, I don't know, do like some live shows or whatever from the event, but just have it like where a lot of us come together. Because I know, like, you get it in your comments, I get it in my comments. When are you going to have a Pigeons event? When are you going to have a StrainShow event? When is there going to be a CLTV event? What if everyone came together for a big YouTuber community event?
If you
All the DGC fam is there too.
if you've
And then we
talked
can
to
all find a place in one of these weed-friendly states, consumption allowed inside and outside. Of course, we could have some vendors. The way I thought of it was like how these places in Denver, we used to have these things called industry appreciation nights, our bud tender appreciation nights. So for everybody that worked in the cannabis industry, there would be these venues. Cultivated Synergy was the main one. They would have this big event, and everybody would just come hang out. There's a little bar. There's like usually a DJ, dab bars all over, and the booths that would be there would just be like, it was just like DGC. You just come up and get a dab. Maybe come up and get some weed, or like you come up and we'll roll you whatever kind of joint you want. And the reason these companies come there and do that is because everyone from the cannabis industry, all of us as the employees, are coming there. And so their thinking is, if they give me a bunch of cool dabs all night and then I go to work at the dispensary the next day and the customer comes in and says, hey, I'm looking for some nice live rosin. What do you got? I'm going to say, oh man, I was just hanging out with these guys last night at this event and they were dabbing me up on this live rosin. It was really nice. Check this stuff out. So now, you could have like people that are interested. It would like be begging you to come to your event and give out free dabs and roll people joints. Like, people would want to be part of this. So I'm just trying to figure out how many of the people in the community would actually want to come. Where can we have it? And who all would be down to be involved? I'm brainstorming all of this currently.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, count me in.
Okay,
I know if you've spoken to Rob about this, he's probably voiced his idea about it, and the ideas that we've had. We've tossed around some epic ideas, dude, and there's a ton of events already that are happening out there that you simply just need to sprinkle weed in. That would be just epic, dude.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you don't even have to reinvent the wheel on this. It's like just make it happen. And so yeah, count me in. And I know Rob's an incredible guy, and he's incredibly talented, and he works like none other. And so yeah, I know that I know he would be in on this as well. With the right delegation of tasks, right? Because remember, if you take this on, dude, it's amazing how many people will be involved but won't do anything. So it's you just got to be ready for that too. And it's bless their souls. It's a huge undertaking, and it's like it's sometimes it can be just tough on where to get people to start. Not.
I feel like for me, the majority of this undertaking would be delegation of task.
It is,
because
I
can't think of one part of organizing an event that I'm qualified to do. So it's a very lofty goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But dude, like I said,
start somewhere, right?
The events. What's that?
It's got to start somewhere, though. A lofty goal,
yeah,
but you know what?
absolutely.
Hey, aim high, right, brother? Aim high, man. That's the biggest thing.
I'm like in a place where I feel like fortunate enough and lucky enough to where, like, if somebody could do it, if anybody could do it, maybe I could be one of those people to get this ball rolling, And so if I have that opportunity, I don't know. I'm all about chasing big goals right now, P.
I know you are, dude.
For the stars, homie.
Dude, that's what it takes.
I go and see these great events, and I feel the love from the community, and I hug it out with all these people who I've only known as a screen name, or who I've never met at all. Some of these people are loyal watchers and viewers. So they're not subscribers, though, and they don't have a screen name because for so long they've been in a prohibition area of the world. And they do this secretly. They live this whole experience to themselves. Imagine the
Mm-hmm.
thing that we love the most, that me and you get to share our experiences with every day on YouTube. Imagine if we had no one in the world we could talk to this about. Your favorite things on the world you have to keep a secret. Your greatest passion and the thing you're the proudest of, you can't show anybody these plants because you might go to prison. And so sometimes people only have these small communities on the internet. They only have these rare events to come together and be able to celebrate this openly and have this shared experience with the homies. And every time that I get to be part of something like that, you feel the love and you feel like the magic and how like needed this was. I'm like, wow, we all needed this. And it's too rare to me, I feel like. So if I could just make that happen, if I could make those experiences happen just a little bit more often, I'm down to put in whatever work it takes to make that happen.
Good, dude. Good. And I'm excited to hear about that. So count me in. And speaking of exciting and jumping in, like you've gone full time into this, like into content creation, right? So how does that feel, man? How does it feel to be going full time into YouTube, into content creation?
It feels like you could probably relate. It feels all kinds of ways at once. And if I listed all of the emotions it gives you, you would see that a lot of them are conflicting because it feels exciting as fuck. And I feel very lucky. And it also feels like it makes me horribly nervous and scared, very, very scared sometimes. When I first made this decision to go full time on YouTube, was after I got accepted to the YouTube partner program. And when I expressed a little bit of like surprise earlier when you said your current struggle now is between that green monetization and that yellow monetization, that was surprising to me because even when I was accepted to the partner program, I could never turn on ads. It was always no ads allowed, but eventually they accepted me and they let me do channel memberships, which was awesome. So I enabled the channel memberships. We would do a little bonus content for channel members, and I did a extra live stream every week for channel members. And the support from my community was mind-blowing, P. In no time, I was up to 500 channel members. In no time, my memberships were like a really strong competition for how much I was making from my job. And I was like, look, the grow I'm working at right now, because I was working in the cannabis industry still, but in a garden that I had no pride in, that the people that owned it had no pride in. They were bottom of the barrel kind of business owners that you felt ashamed to work for. It was horrible. I was doing my best to make this bad place better, but there's only so much one person can do when everything is working against you. And like, I don't have the money. If the people who own the place aren't going to invest in the things we need, there's only so much I can do. So I made this decision. I was like, I'm going to try to do this with like the support of my channel members. There was no brand sponsorships or brand deals. There was like maybe a one-off every now and then somebody will give me some money for a review, but absolutely nothing you could like bet your income on. So I make the transition. I'm doing YouTube. It's amazing to have this extra time that I can invest into the videos. I'm making the best videos I felt like I've ever made. I'm making more of them than I've ever made. And then I get that copyright strike, brother. I get a copyright strike on my channel. The AI algorithm bot that you mentioned earlier scans the whole channel. They remove me from the partner program. They start giving me flags and restrictions. I can't post for 2 weeks. And that's every single cent of my income gone overnight. And I've just walked away from my job. And I didn't walk away like on the best terms, because when I said, hey, I'm going to quit and do YouTube, the guy was pissed off. And I was sort of offended that he was pissed off at me. I was like, how dare you get offended at me? Like, after all this shit I've done for you and the horrible working conditions, you're going to get mad at me that I want to quit? You don't pay well, and I work in a really horrible place, and I go way above and beyond for you. fuck you, dude. Of course I'm quitting. So going back to the job was impossible. And now I'm like, okay, fuck. Now I gotta go back to work after all the, because I worked with a lot of the people, same people, ever since I moved to Colorado, almost for like 9 years now. And they're like, whoa, Matt, you're finally going to quit work and go do YouTube? Because they all know I've been like making YouTube videos since the whole time I've been working in the cannabis industry. And then I had to go crawling back like, hey guys, that didn't work out and I'm going to get evicted. So you got a job for your boy? So I went back to working for a while, and I transitioned eventually to a part-time job. And right now, as of recently, I'm just doing YouTube all over again with no channel memberships at all. So big ups to everyone who is helping me support this dream and this channel on the Patreon. Because Patreon, although we offer the same things, as you probably know, P, it's much, much harder to get someone to leave the platform they watch your videos on to support you on Patreon. People will do it on YouTube without a second thought because they're right there watching your video. They're like, wow, this video is really helpful to me. And there's the button right here beside the video. So it's an easy click. It's an easy decision. If they got to go look in your description and find the link to your Patreon and then go over there and they don't even know what Patreon is or how it works, it's much harder to get that conversion. So thank you to everyone, because that's the only way I'm able to do this still. But it's still nervous because every week you're like, okay, I hope I don't get a strike on this video, because if I get a strike, none of the ways that I make money or post shit on the internet are going to be viable anymore. I'm not even going to be able to upload for 2 weeks. So it can get scary, but it's still the best thing I've ever had the opportunity to do ever by like 150 miles.
Ugh, I get it, brother. And you know what? I feel I feel it, dude. It's entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurialship. It's one of those.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like the combination.
Yeah, we'll put them together. That really, anyone who tries to start their own business, that tries to walk away from the mainstream, deals with that anxiety, that insecurity of the unknown, and it's incredible, brother. And you know what? I'm excited to hear that you're diversifying your income or your stream with going to Twitch, because that's going to increase some income as well, because Twitch also has that button right there to hit subscribe.
Oh yeah.
Remove the ads. Removes the ads. And I'll be straight with you. Twitch has the best chat integration experience than any other platform, with the emotes, with the games, there are so many things that your community can be doing in the chat to just keep themselves entertained. Is incredible.
And all the live streaming software in the world is built with Twitch integrations in mind. So if there's any third-party stuff you want, like most of that stuff doesn't integrate. You can't even play marbles on stream.
That's right.
On YouTube still.
That's right. That's right. That's crazy.
But everything in the world is integrated into Twitch.
Yeah. And you know what?
And it's difficult when there's like no business model, because if it was like a clear business with business goals and like a model to make income, that would make it more clear. That would make more sense to quit your job for.
That's what it can be.
This was never a business to me. It was like an artistic, fun thing. I just like to make the videos. I thought it would be cool to help people. And there was never no ROI. I never thought of it to be like, because for like immediately my second video got a strike and my fifth video got a strike. So right out of the gate, I was like, okay, posting shit to YouTube about weed is a no-go. No one will ever see these videos. I'll never really grow a channel. There's no money to be made. All of that was very, very clear right at the beginning. It was really shocking to see that the videos ever even got views. And that didn't happen for a long time. And the only reason I kept making those videos for so long is just because I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I quit and they took away that YouTube channel membership from me. That's why I was left with nothing, because I had never thought of like, all right, Matt, you should like have a business tied to your YouTube channel so you can like sustain making YouTube videos. So having to think about like, all right, how do I take something that I do because I love to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then also tie that into how I have to pay my bills without ruining the thing that I love to do. I don't want to take the thing that I love to do and make it feel like a job.
It
So
is.
that's also like the another fine line to walk. I'm always nervous that I'm going to take this thing that I love to do and I'm going to taint it in some way with money, you know?
Yep. I struggle with that every single day. I unfortunately I grew up in a world where money was just valued in a way where it was almost more valuable than human connection and human relationship. And so
Wow.
for me, money's always been a source of darkness rather than a
Yeah.
source of light. However, one thing that's, homelessness will do this to you. Poverty will do this to you, where it's like there's a hustle to extrapolate money out of, it's a hustle, dude. And to extrapolate money out of the internet is one of those things where it's not easy, man. It's not easy. However, there is a billion plus maybe $1 trillion industry called the World Wide Web. And it is amazing how having the I'm not even going to say the business sense, because I don't even have that business sense, but as one of the first home grower content creators to go full time and to do this full time, if not the first, it definitely presents some challenges. However, trying to get monetized for your passion and your hustle, I feel like is what, as a human being, we are designed to do. We are not designed to work behind a till. We are not designed to work on a conveyor belt. We are not designed to do these very robotic tasks. And yet here we are. We are designed to create and to be free and to be excited and to be able to express ourselves.
Absolutely.
And we should be able to monetize that. You should be able to make that into a job. And so how to do that? There is no book for that, because unfortunately the powers that be much rather you just fall into line and be that robot. But it's like, you, sir, deserve to get paid for the work that you do and the passion that you have to spread the word of cannabis and community to as many people as possible. You deserve that, man. And I think that so does every other human being that has a passion for something. You deserve to be able to spread that passion to the world. And I wish we could all do that for free. I wish that we could all do that out of the kindness of our hearts. But the reality is that doesn't make the machine move. You have to do that. And so, yeah, don't ever feel bad or I don't know, or be down on yourself if you are trying to find a way to monetize your passion, because I feel like as a human being, that is our destiny. Is to be able to express ourselves in that way. So
I thought before that it'd be interesting to have conversations like this about, like as YouTubers, but specifically like weed tubers who are trying to do this, like, and it is tied to money, to have these conversations. But I know they're uncomfortable conversations.
They
are. Yeah, they're sort of uncomfortable conversations to have about money. And, some people are just wired that way. I know, like, for me, it wasn't right. Like, I didn't feel right at the other place working this other job for someone else's money, But I know for some people, like my brother, for example, he doesn't like that stress of his income being tied to all on him. He doesn't want all of the responsibility of like managing a business. He would much rather just go work that 9 to 5 and then be off and not ever worry about it again, because it is a thing. It's like when you're doing stuff for yourself, you really never turn it off. You're sort of doing it all day and all night.
You're absolute, dude. I know. And there are times, like I've been full time since 2020. And there are times where I don't want to say it, but I would love to be able to just put the brain to rest at 5 o'clock and just not give a shit about the business, the job, none of that, because it's just nice to flick off the switch. But it's really hard to complain because I'm very blessed to work for myself. And at the bottom, at the end of the day, you know, for those that seek that, I encourage them to, because as I said, I think humans should be afforded that opportunity more.
Yeah. And you're really lucky you get to work with your wife, you get to spend time with your son, you know, and you get to do the things you love. And so even with our little beefs we might have with YouTube, me and you are two of the luckiest guys in the world, P.
You're damn
And
right.
it wouldn't be without the people watching this video right now. So if you're watching this, if you hear me say these words, I'm talking about you, and we appreciate you. Thank you all so much.
Brother, incredibly said. Dude, I want to thank you for coming on tonight, man. It was an absolute blessing to have you. I'm glad we had the opportunity to have a conversation without the involvement of too many tech issues, shall we say.
Yeah.
But Matt, real quick, if anybody wants to support the show or show up or pull up, where could they do that?
Yo, check me out on YouTube at youtube.com/StrainShow. Go follow me on Twitch because I'm about to start streaming with Pigeons, twitch.tv/StrainShow. If you want to check out the behind the scenes stuff or support the channel, you can do that at patreon.com/StrainShow. I'll see you there. Much love, homies. P, thank you so much for having me. This was a great talk. Can't wait till we do it again. I can't wait to see you in Las Vegas.
It's going to be before we even know it, dude. Time flies when you're having fun. Absolute pleasure. Honor was mine, dude. Can't wait to see you. Keep smiling. It looks great on you, man. Everyone, go check out Matt from StrainShow. Huge, where was I going with that, dude? A huge friend of mine and a partner of the show, man. I appreciate you, dude. Cheers, man.
Later, buddy.
Thanks, bro.